friends, my name is Sarah, and today I am jumping in with the monthly recommendations group that was started by Trina from Between Chapters and Kayla Rain. I will link all of the info for both of their channels and the Goodreads group in the description below if you would like to join us. Every single month, we choose a topic and share our recommendations on it, and in the month of July, we are talking about empowering female leads. I really love this topic, and I'm so glad that it was chosen because as much as I love my Disney princesses and my damsels in distress and the fairy tales that I grew up with, I think it's really important for young girls and young women to have representation in literature and in the media in general of women who are strong and know who they are and are independent and that are really just fantastic, wonderful women that are not just this damsel in distress stuck up in a tower or, you know, cursed with a sleeping curse for thousands of years. I've got a fairly good mix of both middle grade, adult, and young adult literature along with a wide range of genres, so let's jump right in. Up first, we have Anne Shirley from the Anne of Green Gables series by L.M. Montgomery. This is not necessarily a series you might think of when you think of strong or empowering female leads, but Anne Shirley is one of the most unique individuals I've ever read about in literature, and she is so unapologetic about who she is. Yes, she has a temper. Yes, she has wild imagination and sort of goes off in fits of fancy, but she knows who she is, she knows who she cares about, she knows what she wants, and I love that you get to see how that part of her personality and her confidence in who she is grows from the very first book when she's 11 all the way through the end of the series when she is a mother with daughters of her own, and it's just fantastic and wonderful, and I really love her for so many other reasons, but one of those primary reasons that I love her is she is just so strong in who she is. Up next we have Jo March from Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. Jo is without a doubt one of my favorite heroines of classic literature. She is very different from her sisters and so different than the sort of female norm that was in the Civil War. She wasn't this fainting violet who just wanted to be married and have kids. She had ambitions and dreams and a temper and a strong personality and was not afraid to go after the things that she wanted and cares about, and is just a fantastic character and role model, and I just love everything about her. Up next we have Isabel and Vianne from The Nightingale by Kristin and Hanna. This is an adult historical fiction novel that follows two sisters, Isabel and Vianne, who lived in a Nazi-occupied France during World War II. And the two sisters are very different in personality. They take different roads in regard to their opinion about what happens in the war, but they are both very strong in their own individual ways. Isabel goes off to aid the French in their resistance against the Nazis, and as a result saves literally hundreds of lives through the work that she does. And Vianne, though at first glance might seem like a much more demure and not really strong character, you see as the novel progresses that though Vianne has chosen to stay home and live with her daughter despite the fact that a Nazi is billeted there, that she has a very quiet strength of her own. Isabel is sort of a hothead and a little bit in your face and is very obviously a strong character, but Vianne has a very gentle kind of strength that I found absolutely beautiful to read about. This novel in general is just absolutely fantastic, but largely because of these incredibly strong, wonderful female characters that Kristin and Hanna wrote into the story. So I highly recommend you check this one out. I already have done a full video review on it, which I will link in all of the appropriate places if you want to hear more of my thoughts. Up next we have Scarlet O'Hara from Gone with the Wind by Margaret Mitchell. Scarlet O'Hara is one of those characters that people either love or they hate. She is rather selfish and a little bit temperamental and has many issues that she sort of has to work through throughout this novel. But one thing is for sure, she is an incredibly strong and resilient woman. She goes through so much in this novel. She literally has to watch the world that she has grown up in and known for her entire life fall to pieces around her and then pick up those pieces and rebuild something completely new. And though she makes some really selfish and often cruel decisions, you cannot deny that she's an incredibly strong, resilient woman who knows what she wants and is not afraid to go after it. And I really love this novel because as much as Scarlet is still the selfish character in the novel that she is portrayed as in the movie, there is so much more growth that happens to her character in the book, and she's just such a fascinating character to read about. And I highly recommend that if you haven't picked this book up yet, you do so despite the fact that it's like 1,000 pages. Up next we have Elizabeth Bennett from Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. Lizzie Bennett is a fantastic wonderful character who is spunky and strong and is not afraid to speak her mind despite proper protocol and politeness and all of that stuff in regard to the society that she lives in, but she is a wonderful character as a result. I love that she stands up for herself, she stands up for her sisters in all of these different situations that she finds herself in throughout the novel, and she's really just an amazing character. I love so much about her, and if you haven't picked up Pride and Prejudice, just do it as soon as possible, please. This is one of my all-time favorite novels that I just believe everyone should read. Up next, we have The Illuminae Files by Amy Kaufman and J. Kristoff. So this is an ongoing YA sci-fi series. The first book, Illuminae, came out last October. This is an arc of Gemina, the second book, which does not come out until this October. And this whole series is just so unique and fantastic. But one of my favorite things about these two books is the main characters are these incredible, strong, wonderful, sassy, awesome female characters. In Illuminae, you have Kady, who is a wicked smart hacker who is sassy and spunky and just really fantastic. In Gemina, you have Hanna Donnelly, who is just kick-ass and amazing in so many ways, and I just love these books in general, but I love the female characters that Amy and Jay have written. If you want to read a YA series that has some strong female leads, then please pick these books up ASAP because they're just awesome. And to round out this month's recommendations, we have Cinder, Scarlet, Cress, and Winter from the Lunar Chronicles by Marissa Meyer. So the reason I say this for last is because this series is a set of science fiction retellings of popular fairy tales. So Marissa Meyer has taken these characters, Cinderella, Red Riding Hood, Rapunzel, and Snow White, who we traditionally think of as the sort of fainting violet, damsel in distress, had to be saved from their tower or from whatever and rescued by a prince, and she completely flips that paradigm on its head and gives you these women who are so strong and independent and unique, and I just love everything about them as characters, and this series is just fantastic. And the thing that's really cool about it is she doesn't take these female characters and make them all like super manly or anything like that. They are still very unique, and you still have some of these girls that lean more on the feminine side of things, but just because they're feminine doesn't mean they're not strong, and just because they're tomboyish and strong doesn't mean they're not feminine. And I love how she just takes all of those different sort of preconceived notions about being a tomboy versus a girly girl versus strong versus weak versus a princess versus whatever, and just flips it on its head and gives you this incredible cast of female characters who are so strong and unique and represent so many different facets of what it means to be a strong woman. And I just could gush about the series for an extended period of time, but if you want to read about some really just fantastic strong women that take the fairy tale paradigm and just totally flip it upside down, check out this series ASAP. So there you have it, friends. Those are some of my recommendations for empowering female leads. If you have read any of these books, I would love to hear your thoughts, so please let me know in the comments below. And if you have more recommendations about books with strong female characters, particularly those who sort of break the expectation of what it means to be a female and what it means to be strong and sort of flips all of those things on its head, I would love to hear those recs, so please let me know. If you want to follow me elsewhere online, you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Goodreads, all at Sarah Ann Hayes. The links for those profiles will be in the description below. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye! I really love with Bennett from have Cinder, Scarlet, Winter, just whatever, and just flips. Oh wow.